Vhagar, the Queen of the Skies. If Balerion the Black Dread was terror and shadow, Vhagar was fire and thunder. Hatched on Dragonstone, she was smaller than Balerion but still a titan among dragons. By the end of her life, she was nearly his equal, fast enough that men said her roar shook the very earth. Size and appearance. Vhagar's scales shone a deep bronze green, her eyes burning like hot coals. As she aged, her wings grew ragged and scarred from countless battles, but her might never dimmed. She lived for nearly 2 centuries, making her one of the longest-living dragons in history. First writer, Visenya Targaryen. Vhagar first bore Visenya Targaryen, Aegon's elder sister and wife. Together they burned enemies on the field of fire, where the armies of the Reach and the Rock were destroyed. Subdued the Vale of Arryn, when Visenya flew little King Ronald high above the Eyrie, forcing his mother to surrender. Helped enforce Aegon's rule after the conquest, a constant shadow over rebellious lords. Later writers, after Visenya's death, Vhagar passed to other dragon riders. Prince Balon Targaryen, the father of Viserys and Daemon, rode her with glory. Decades later, she became the mount of Prince Aemon Targaryen, one of the central figures in the Dance of the Dragons. With Aemond, Vhagar was as deadly as ever, laying waste to armies and castles. Death in the dance. Her end came in one of the most legendary duels in Westeros, the battle above the God's Eye. Aemond rode Vhagar into the skies against Daemon Targaryen on Caraxes. The 2 dragons clashed in midair, their jaws tearing, claws raking, fire against fire. Locked together, they plunged into the waters of the God's Eye Lake. Caraxes crawled to the shore, mortally wounded, but Vhagar never rose again. Her body sank beneath the lake, ending a life that had begun before the conquest itself. Did she kill riders? Vhagar never slew her bonded riders. Yet with Aemon she was an instrument of carnage, slaughtering thousands and burning castles without mercy. Legacy. Vhagar was the last living dragon of the conquest, a beast who had flown with Aegon and his sisters and died more than 100 years later in the dance. Her death marked the end of an age of greatness. She was not just a dragon of war, she was living history. From the first flames of the conquest to the last embers of Targaryen power, Vhagar's wings spanned centuries.